Whoops. I think it's safe to say that I'm like the weirdest person ever. Why am I on the internet? I'm so nervous right now. I'm spilling coffee everywhere. What's up, everybody? My name is Ali, or Alessandra. And I'm coming to you live from the bedroom. I have got to get up. Excuse me. The girl's too poor for a tripod. How are we? How you doing? I hope you're all doing well. I hope your heart is warm and that I've gone blank. I can't believe that I'm finally sitting down and filming a video for you guys where I'm actually speaking to you. Oh my god, I just spilled it on my leg. That was really bad. I was contemplating this for the longest time, but I finally like put my butt down. Well, actually I'm sitting on a pile of pillows right now, but I've been thinking about doing a Q&A for you guys for the longest time because I was like, I want to start like gaining a bit more confidence and speaking in front of the camera and speaking like this, really raw, really open, because I know that I really want to affect people and I really want to, you know, kind of create a change and stuff like that. But how can I do that if people don't know me? So I thought that I would do this little series called Coffee and Confessions, where I basically have a coffee, as I've got here, and then I speak to you guys and answer some questions that you guys have been asking me. So without further ado, let's go straight into it. First question is, how old are you? I am 23 years old and I'm going to be 24 in 2 months. Where did the time go? So my birthday is on the 25th of Jan. And another question here was what star sign are you? So I am an Aquarius, but I'm also an Aries moon and a Capricorn rising. Whoa, there's a nip slip almost about to happen. Anywho, I'm just gonna have a quick sip of my coffee. And we're gonna try and do this. Where are you from and what is your background? Basically, I am born and raised Australian, but my dad moved from Italy when he was 13 and my mum was born in Australia, but her grandparents are her parents, but my grandparents are from Macedonia. What are you currently studying and what do you do for work? So I'm currently doing my 4th year in psychology, doing my honours here at Bond University in Gold Coast. For work, I actually got 3 jobs now, but I had, when I moved here, I was jobless, and then I had this cafe job, and then I found another job in sort of more aligned with what I'm studying. So basically I help young persons with an intellectual disability or learning difficulties, things like that, social anxiety, things like that, as a social support worker. But I also have given the role of a behavioral support therapist. So basically I help the child or the young person and their families, and basically just look at the functionality and ways in which we can reinforce and promote more adaptive rather than maladaptive behaviors and things like that. I also just recently got a job at Justin Lane, which is this really epic pizzeria like near the beach, and then I also just got another job in like a smoothie bar called Niche & Co. So I'm really excited to be working over the summer and to really save some money because I need it. One thing you cannot live without, coffee. Well, there's plenty of things that I can't live without, and that's probably like love, which I know is very sappy to say, but like I can live with almost a lot of things. But I feel like the one thing I can't live without is that feeling of love, and that could be even just like towards myself or just from other people. But I think the concept of living without love, it's just terrifying and it's really sad. Who do you live with? Okay, I basically live with a couple and a Canadian girl, and unfortunately she's moving in a couple of weeks, which is very sad, but I'm still gonna like harass her and visit her and her flatmate, who I love deeply. When did you lose your virginity? A lady never tells. Favorite time of day? It varies. I love the cusp of sunrise and like waking up at 5-6 a.m. when the sun's coming up, but I think for me my favorite time of day would have to be sunset, because there's just something about that time that always like moves me, especially when it's a clear night and the gradient of the sky is in that cusp of like purples and oranges and yellows and pinks, and it's probably one of my favorite things. So how long have you been vegan? I've been vegan for almost 5 years now. It's kind of so normal to me now. And I think like I can definitely talk a bit more about it in future videos, but basically like it really helped me in eating a lot better and eating to heal some damage I did years ago to my body. And I don't know, like it just fits so much with my morals, and like being vegan just basically like hits so many targets. Like it's good for the animals, it's good for the planet, and good for your health. So it's been 5 years, and it probably will be to the day I die. What advice would you give your younger self? That's like a big one, because like there's definitely so many things that I would say to a young me, and like I think one of the biggest things I tell my younger self is just to love yourself and to accept yourself wholeheartedly for who and what you are. And it's really crazy, because I remember one of the biggest things that actually really changed my way of thinking was when I was driving once, and for some weird reason I vividly saw myself in the back seat when I was like 10 years old, and I just thought, oh my goodness, like, and that was when I was in like one of the darkest times of my life, and I was not treating myself well at all. So when I think about that, I thought, wow, like the way that I'm treating myself now, like I could not do that to her. And then that was a big click moment, and that was when I was like, I would give her so much love and so much kindness, and yet I'm not doing that to me. Like, I don't know. And it's just like, when you're a kid, everything's so childish and kiddie and funny, and then everything becomes serious when you're an adult, but I don't think it's meant to. And I think that I would just tell the young me to just chase after your dreams and to never give up, and to literally just find yourself, because I think listening to your heart and trusting your intentions and what is pulling you is the most important thing I can tell a young person. And it's weird, because it's like this question, like what would you tell your younger self? It's like, well, what would I tell my kids? What would I tell my future children? You know, like how would I want them to feel and think about themselves? And I think that like it's definitely something I'm really, really freaked out about, because one day that will be it, and one day I'll actually be talking to them and telling them, you know, so much about life and love and loss, and that's just it, you know? Well, speaking of, do you want to get married and have children? Yes, I do. I'm not really like crazy about marriage. I definitely like the ideal of it, but it's nothing for me too crazy, as long as I'm with the person that I love and they love me back. In terms of kids, I know that I definitely have to have a minimum of 2, because I already know their names. I am going to have a boy, and his name's gonna be Leo, and then I'm gonna have a girl, and her name's gonna be Luna. But I feel like I definitely want more than 2, because I want to have a big family, and I think that like coming from my own family, just me and my brother, and like I got a very small family, so I would definitely love to just create like a big bundle of joy with my animal babies and my human babies. Doesn't sound weird at all, but you get me. Favorite cocktail or alcoholic drink? Oh, my favorite cocktail is between espresso martini or an Aperol spritz. I think my espresso martinis are really when I want that bit of like a buzz, like a kick, and because I love coffee, and also when it's probably warmer months, but like on like a really hot day, I crave like an Aperol spritz. And I love, sometimes I really like, you know, a pink Moscato if I feel it. Otherwise I'm a big red wine girl, so future hubby, take notes. How many tattoos do you have? That's actually a good question, because I can't remember the last time I counted, and I think I have about 14, 15. And I'm getting one tomorrow, so mum. I'm definitely thinking of doing a video about them, to talk about them, because I've got a few lingering by, and there's some that have like a certain story too, which I think is would be really cool to share. So if you want me to talk about my tattoos, let me know. What artists do you listen to? I am a huge music fanatic. Like every day I'm always aspiring to listen to new tunes. So if anyone has any songs or artists they recommend, do not hesitate to share them with me. But I think the ones that I really listen to as of late, hands down, Arctic Monkeys are like my soul. Like I love them to bits. I love Lana Del Rey. It varies. Now I'm listening to, if I go to my Spotify, now I'm listening to like Kate Renata, Sabrina Claudio, I think she's a babe. Oh, Cigarettes After Sex, just saying they released Cry, and it makes me want to cry because it's like the most beautiful album ever. I don't know what that was, sorry. I like A$AP Rocky, I like The Neighborhood, Pink Sweat, Frank Ocean, James Blake. I'm just literally going through my Spotify. What do you want to achieve by the end of the year? What don't I want to achieve? I think that's just it. It's like I have so many things that I want to tick off my list of goals. I think one big thing would at least have my poetry book to the point of almost publishing. It's pretty much finished, which is so exciting, but I'm doing a little bit of editing at the moment and going through them and like just having a look at what pieces I love to kind of change a little bit. But I think one thing would be that. I think also just more personal goals. Like I love to just continuously work on myself and my fitness goals and my self-love goals, and I don't know, I feel like this year has just been the biggest transitional shift of my life, from moving out to like traveling on my own to like to heartbreak, and then kind of like meeting somebody again and all these kind of things like that. Like it's just been the biggest year, and I just feel like next year is going to be even bigger. So I guess it's what I want to achieve this year is getting myself ready for 2020, because I feel like 2020 is just going to be like huge. Favorite festival you've been to, and any more that you like to go to? God, I think my favorite festival hands down would be Ziget. That was my first European festival, which will not be the last. But that and Splendor was really, really good. The Splendor this year was absolutely epic. But I think my favorite would have to be Ziget. And in terms of festivals that I love to go to, I definitely want to go to Coachella. And I definitely want to go to, like Tomorrowland, or just anywhere really. And that's where next year, I'm definitely coming for you. Really wanted to go to Glastonbury 2020 next year, but tickets were very freaking hard to get. So if I can somehow still get there, that would be awesome, but we'll see. Who would play you in a movie? I've always said Natalie Portman. I feel like she'd be pretty good to play me. And who I would love to play alongside, another question. Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's my absolute dream team of an actor, and Jack Nicholson I would love to work with. And I'd love to work with Tarantino. I think he'd be epic to work with. What's your favorite color? Probably yellow, but I have like way too many like shades of like blues and greens that I love. Favorite movie? Can't pick. How do you pick one? I think I'm gonna go with Dirty Dancing. That's probably like one of my favorites. Otherwise, Kill Bill is also there. Have you ever met someone famous? The most famous person I've ever met would probably be Harry Styles. And not many people know this story. Or I don't know if anyone knows the story, really. But basically, long story short, when they came to Australia for their first tour, my friend got tickets to Brisbane because Melbourne tickets were absolutely sold out. And basically, we flew up, and the night before we flew up, we saw on Twitter that our hotel that we were going to stay in was trending on Twitter. And then next thing we knew is after the concert, we heard that they were all like kind of like going through the lobby and in the restaurant like that was near there. So my friend and I stayed downstairs. And what happened was, with how I met Harry specifically, was I was going to go to the elevator to go upstairs, and he was coming out to go to the bathroom. So basically our paths crossed, and I'll never forget, I said to him, I was like, hey, this was like fetus me. I was like, hey, like, thank you for the night. It was a great concert. You know, I don't want to be a hassle, so can I just get a hug? And then so like he hugged me. So yes, I got Harry Styles. That has touched me. And yeah, and that was it. But yeah, it was really cool to actually be like, oh hey, Harry Styles. If you could live anywhere, where would that be? Oh God. I'm definitely, especially after moving out this year, so I moved out, FYI, to the Gold Coast in May 2020. Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. I'm moving to London. I can't even speak. I have my heart set on moving to London in June next year, so I'm very, very excited for that. It's definitely going to be one of the biggest adventures, but I already feel like I have a home there, which is really, really sweet. And And then after that, I think I have plans to move to New York. That would be pretty dope. I also have plans to hopefully move to Hawaii. And then probably to another coastal town in Australia. So definitely to many places in the world, but who knows. Do you like scary movies? Not really. I don't really watch them, but if it's like, hey Ali, come over and we'll get a group of us and we'll like drink and watch scary movies, then yeah, I'm like into that. Have I ever broken the law? If I did, I wouldn't tell you. Mom, don't watch this. What is your best childhood memory? I think it would be actually my 3rd birthday. When I was 3, my dad dressed up as the peanut butter bear and basically surprised me, and I was just absolutely over the moon when that happened. It was the cutest, most beautiful, sweetest thing. So I think that would be my favorite childhood memory. Summer or winter? I'm definitely a summer person, but I love the ideal of winter, which is why when people question me about London, I'm like, yeah, but that's the perk of it. It's like you get to have that those warm months, and then, you know, cuddle by the fire, have some old wine, Christmas markets, all that kind of stuff. I think I'll leave it at that, but thank you everyone who sent me some questions in. It's definitely been wonderful to answer them, and I hope to do more of these and talk to you guys soon. Love you.